throughout my life I've always been quite anxious, but I never really attributed it to anything to do with like poor mental health. I just thought it was just part of my personality, which I think it is to an extent. Yeah. But 3 or 4 years ago, I was having really low moods consistently, and it just wasn't lifting at all. So at that stage, I realised there's something wrong, and I needed to do something about it and seek some help. Since then, I probably had 2 or 3 other major episodes of depression and anxiety, which I've had varying times off from work over the past 3 or 4 years, but feel like it's a constant trying to manage it now.
I think mine started while I was pregnant. Felt very anxious about anything and everything, and then I was diagnosed when my daughter was 3 weeks old.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite hard.
That's such a big change in your life anyway.
And I've never experienced it before, so it was a bit of a I was a bit in shock, to be honest.
Yes.
Well, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness when I was 10, which meant I couldn't go to school, and I was bedbound for quite a while, which sort of led on to poor mental health and severe depression. And then I joined Deloitte like a year and a half ago, and within 3 weeks, I started having seizures.
Wow. And
I developed epilepsy. I was sort of getting my work, like quality was deteriorating, I was getting more snappy, that kind of thing. So that's when I kind of realised I needed to go back to the doctor and talk about it and assess what I needed.
What happened to me was that my wife woke up one morning and found me in tears in bed. And when you're 6'4" and a bloke, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you need to go and do something about this. So I came into work and told one of our partners. And I think as I told people, they sort of said, all of a sudden, that makes sense.
I wasn't enjoying work and I felt quite low. I wasn't feeling confident in my work either. I felt like whatever I did, it wasn't necessarily good enough. And it was around this time last year, really, where I thought I need to do something about it in terms of trying to improve my mood.
So yeah, when I first told work about what was going on, they put me in touch with somebody who I knew quite well and didn't realise it had any issues with like poor mental health. And speaking to him and the experiences he'd gone through, I recognised a lot of stuff that I was going through, and he said he was able to manage it, which was really encouraging and really helped being able to speak to somebody in my situation.
And I think that's what I found as well. Like the amount of people that said to me, I didn't think someone like you would have depression.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do you mean someone like me?
Yeah.
Like someone's human? Or it was, I think people didn't see me as someone who's sad or something, you know, but it felt to me out of character. Claire, what about you? You weren't in a work context.
No,
So
I was off work, so I went back to work when my daughter was 9 months old.
Okay.
And I kind of hid my illness from probably everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I'm crying. Give me 1 minute. And it was a colleague of mine whose father had experienced mental health problems, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I was, "Not really." But I didn't know what to do. I felt like it was a sign of weakness if you show what I was made of. It's not. It's so not.
No. So Fran, you had some time off work.
Yeah, so I had about, I think it was a month off.
Okay.
And then I did a sort of phased return where I sort of came in 2 days a week, then 3 days a week. And I think that sort of helped ease me back into it.
So how did that feel, that first day you came back in?
Yeah, I was petrified, to be honest. Because some people didn't know why I was off.
And were you open with them about it?
No, not with everyone.
What I've also found when I've talked to people, like when I talk to my mates about what I've been going through, or just talk to people outside of the firm, they've always been quite impressed about all the support Deloitte has given me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about getting access to counselling, to occupational health, to a partner or director or boss that cares and actually says, go home. We want you well. We don't want you working here at all costs. That to me shows how much we've come on as a firm. I mean, there's always more you can do.
Yeah, I think when I was first deciding whether to say anything about it, there's some videos online about, it's similar to the This Is Me video, I think, from somebody in consulting who was doing it, I think Tim. Watching that and hearing his experiences and the fact that Deloitte was so helpful about it, it made me encouraged to actually say something about it.
If you're anything like me, you probably do a few things to make sure that you look after your mental health. So what sort of things do you guys do?
I try to exercise pretty much most days, I think,
Yeah.
because I find that massively helps. Just helps you keep a clear head.
Well, one of the daily things I do is at lunchtime, I make sure I get out of the office, have a walk, and take my actual time to recharge.
I think the lunch thing in terms of taking a step outside is quite important. I think it's becoming more prevalent, but I still think there needs to be some steps to make sure that, you know, people actually get their lunch, you know, away from the laptop.
If there's people watching this who are thinking, I recognise a few of these symptoms in me, or I'm feeling a bit like the way these guys are talking about, what would your advice to them be?
I think it's just be honest with yourself and seek help, really.
Poor mental health doesn't discriminate. No, you're old, young, rich, poor, white, black. It doesn't matter. So we don't need to be a big peacock. We can just be ourselves.
It's amazing how a problem shared is a problem halved.
Absolutely. It's not a sign of weakness at all. It's a sign of, you know, accepting that, you know, there's something wrong and you need to deal with that, and that's the first step.
I think it's also recognising that your personal life can affect your work life, and that sometimes you need to speak to your colleagues and say, actually, I'm having a tough time out of work, and that's impacting on my work life. You know, it works both ways.
I'm a mental health champion, and people come to me and tell me their story. I'm always amazed that they felt brave enough, because you can see how personal it is. Why are you guys here? What made you want to do this?
I wanted to get involved to try and say that, you know, I've experienced those lows. I've gone through counselling. You know, if you're feeling the same, then speak up.
Seeing somebody you know speak openly about it is really powerful, because I think it just helps you, encourages you to speak out about it. And if that is a result of this video, then it's job done, really.
For me, doing this was about opening up the dialogue within my team.
Yeah, even if one person goes to someone and says, actually, you know what, can I have a coffee or a chat or whatever it is, and talks about it, then we've done our job in some ways.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Frances Hampson. I'm an assistant planner in the real estate team in Deloitte Manchester. I experience depression and anxiety.
I'm Kieran McWarner. I'm an assistant manager within audit in Manchester. I've experienced anxiety and low levels of confidence, which has meant I've gone to counselling.
My name's Claire Benson. I work in audit risk advisory, and I've suffered with postnatal depression, and I still suffer with anxiety.
I'm Matt O'Donnell. I'm a consultant in tax, and I've experienced depression and anxiety.
I'm Doug King. I'm a director in audit in Manchester, and a few years ago I had a period of severe acute depression and also experienced a period of hyperanxiety.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.